Hi, my name is David Kramer, and today I'll be refuting the claim that immigrants in the United States that wish to become permanent residents and fail to attempt to learn the English language are a detriment to American society. The advocate's secondary claims are 1, that driving without knowledge of the English language is dangerous, 2, that failure to speak English results in a lack of contribution to the workforce, 3, to apply for citizenship, one must be able to read, write, speak, and understand words in ordinary usage in the English language, and 4, that immigrants do not learn the English language unnecessarily perpetuate stereotypes. My response to the first secondary claim is that all the information under this subpoint is hypothetical. The speaker states that there are street signs that these immigrants can't read, and that when in a car accident, the immigrants have a hard time exchanging information, and also that in case of a medical emergency, there might not be translators on hand to help out the paramedics or whoever it is that they need to talk to. Nowhere does the speaker provide statistics or evidence to show that these hypothetical situations are a real problem. Responding to failure to speak English results in a lack of contribution to the workforce. The speaker claims that most equal opportunity employers that employ non-English speakers expect and sometimes even provide English training. He does not provide any data or proof that most of the equal opportunity employers either offer or expect it. Also, the speaker does not provide statistics that those who are offered the English training are failing to attempt it, as he claims in his major claim. Responding to the third subclaim, that to apply for citizenship, one must be able to read, write, speak, and understand words in ordinary English language. Under that, he has a point form that children of immigrants that have become U.S. citizens pay less for tuition than they would if they were out of state. I believe this point is void because there's no backing to how it is a detriment to American society. Also, these children are already citizens, so that rules out the part of them wishing to be permanent residents. On top of that, there is no support that these children do not speak English and are not attempting to learn it. And furthermore, he claims that they pay less tuition than they would if they are out of state. But he never says that they are out of state, so I don't think that's valid either. His fourth secondary claim were that immigrants that do not learn English unnecessarily perpetuate stereotypes. According to the speaker, stereotypes lead to hate crimes and other unnecessary treatment. And he then goes on to show a statistic that in 2007, over 9,000 hate crimes were committed against individuals. I'm not arguing that stereotypes can lead to hate crimes, but they don't always. And also, there's no linking factor of hate crimes to stereotypes that he stated. In conclusion, 1 out of the 4 secondary claims is entirely hypothetical situations that may or may not occur. The other secondary claims are scattered with information that has not been supported well or at all, or with information that is, or that has been supported with information that is inconclusive to the speaker's proposition. Thank you all for listening.
All right, David, the main problem with the argument that you've got here is that I think you could have made it 5 minutes after hearing the argument. It's a series of good presses on a lack of evidence, a lack of clarity of the advocate's point, some challenges on the reasoning issue, but it's not anything that is really challenging to the argument. It's, like I said, the kind of thing that you could do if you were having a conversation. I think you could have given this immediately, which I think is not a bad thing, but it does seem underdeveloped as a consequence. It seems a little bit thin. I thought you labeled the points clearly. You made a couple of good points. On the last point especially, for instance, the lack of causality on the point between stereotyping and hate crimes. I thought that was a reasonable press to make, but like I said, there's no reason that you couldn't have made it right after the other person spoke. This would be a good place, for instance, to suggest some counter-causality on hate crimes, the notion that the hate crimes are based primarily on ethnic hatred as opposed to language barriers, or perhaps that, maybe even defining what the nature of hate crimes are and show that there's little relationship to the language issues that are going on. Your explanation on the second point was, I thought, a little bit thin. The third point was all completely confusing, because it seems like we're getting a mixture of arguments about what the policies are towards immigrants, along with questions about what the impact is if people don't speak the language, and I think they're being conflated here as if they are in fact the same thing. And I think that may have occurred both in the advocate's argument and in your argument, because I don't know what inference I'm supposed to be drawing by either side on this particular point after hearing what you had to say. The signposting and structuring is pretty clear. Like I said, I just think that without some evidence to expand your argument, it's basically claim versus claim, and our grounds are a little bit thin. The warrants are okay, but the grounds are thin on your position. All right. Thank you.